I have always had a spinnaker. But you know how it is, you always are intending to get something sorted, but you never really do. So every time I open my bag with all the sails in, and I see it, I think to myself, wouldn't it be really nice if I could fly that? But I've just never got round to sorting out the correct rigging so it could be flown. In this video, I am going to finally make it so that I can fly my spinnaker. There are two main types of spinnaker. The type of spinnaker I have for the Mirror Dinghy is called a symmetric spinnaker. I believe these are pretty common with Mirror Dinghies. In fact, maybe it's the only one you're meant to use with them. Asymmetric spinnakers, which is the other type, they are flown from a bowsprit, so you need the bowsprit sticking out in front of the boat. Asymmetric spinnakers, therefore, are more like big jibs or genoas, and a symmetric spinnaker, which is the one I have. You fly from a spinnaker pole from the mast, and it's like a backwards facing boom, if that makes sense. Now, you're probably all going to hate me for this, but I thought, surely if I just attach a bowsprit and a couple of lines, I can fly my symmetric spinnaker as an asymmetric spinnaker. You might think, what are the advantages of this? Well, maybe there aren't any, but for me, the reason I decided to do it like this is because I don't have the fittings and attachments to properly rig the spinnaker pole, and I just thought I'm going to try a different way. I'm going to try making a bowsprit. I may have accidentally, perhaps, maybe deleted the footage of me. The fly just flew into my mouth. Deleted the footage of me building the bowsprit, so terribly sorry about that. But I can show you what I did. This is the bowsprit. The keener among you may notice it's a piece of 2x4 that I've painted. I've added 2 eyes to this. This one is to hold it down to the boat. This one is to attach the spinnaker at this end. This eye to tie it down to the boat, and this cleat for jamming the downhaul. At this end of the bowsprit, I added this loop here for tying the end of the bowsprit down to the deck. Don't worry about this mess, it's not finished yet. So that gets lashed down there through this loop and down to that bit. Here, the forestay comes up either side of this, so the bowsprit can't slide sideways. And then right on the bow, I've added this other loop, which I attach a strap that goes from there and up to this loop here on the bowsprit. That keeps it down so that the spinnaker won't pull up the bowsprit. This loop here is for the downhaul of the spinnaker, and it just runs along here and gets cleated in this cleat here. For the spinnaker sheets, I added an eye and a cleat on both sides of the boat. So now there's 2 sets. One for the jib and one for the spinnaker. The final thing I had to do was add another block to the top of the mast for the spinnaker halyard. So the main halyard goes through this one inside the mast, the jib goes through this one here, and the spinnaker goes through this one here. I've just noticed that there are 2 screws sticking out here on the foredeck from this eye here, so I'm gonna have to try and sort them out. I've managed to remove them at the height of the wood, so I'm going to now epoxy over them. So that's pretty much it for the spinnaker in this video. In the next video, I'm going to be testing it on the sea, and make sure you subscribe so you see how that goes. Now I'm going to get on with other preparations I need to do before I can start sailing. Another thing I want to do before we go is I want to make a bag to put all the ropes in when we're sailing, because up at the front here, where the mast is, you've got the halyards, you've got the kicking strap, and there's just loads of ropes that get into a big tangle on the floor here, or they get shoved into one of these lockers and they tangle up with something else you might have in there, and then when you try and take the sail down, it's just really hard to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bag I can attach on here, or maybe over here, that has like the right amount of pockets for each rope, so I can just tuck the rope in. So for instance, there's 3 halyards. I just tuck one halyard in there, one halyard in there, one halyard in there, and the bag can just hang here, and I'll organise them so they don't get all tangled up, and it will just flap down here, so I can lift it up, put anything I need into the locker, and then it will just flap back down again, and then hopefully things won't get tangled up so much. My mum suggested using dumpy bag material for it, so I'm just looking for a dumpy bag. Here's one. This one's still half full of sawdust. Let me see if I can find a different one. Mum, do you know where I can find a dumpy bag?
There's some behind the polytunnel, aren't there?
Okay, I'll have a look. Behind the polytunnel, she says. Behind the polytunnel. Ah, yes. What have we here? Dumpy bag. I think I'll just cut one of these panels out and take that in to sew it. There we go. Cut that bit out. I think it needs a bit of cleaning now. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to sew it down the sides here, and then put 2 strips down here, so you literally just have 2 pockets, 3 pockets even. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. First I'm going to sew along the top and the bottom. Right, now I've sewed along the tops, I will stitch the sides up. Oops. Now we have the beginnings of a bag. So now we've got 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. Just going to neaten it up slightly. Right, I'm going to see if I can find a way to fit this. So really, I want it going along the front here. It's quite big, isn't it? Oops. I now need to find something to attach it with. I'm thinking some kind of hook, but I'm not quite sure. Let's see what I can find. Something in here could work. If I screwed something like that in, I could hook it onto there. Yes, let's try this. I think this could work, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to drill holes here and over here into the wood, and then screw these hooks in. If you were wondering why I was drilling the holes with an impact driver, it's because the drill broke, so yeah. I have done a sort of dry fit of this. It seems to work. You know, you can get to the things and get to the pockets. I'm going to have to reinforce around where the holes are for the hooks because they come undone quite easily. Then I will take the screws back out, put epoxy around them, screw them back in, and I might, if I'm feeling like it, cut and sew this piece so that it fits the shape of the bottom of the boat like that, because I think it'll look a lot better rather than having these bits dangling around. So that's what I'm going to do now. I think that looks a lot better. I then went on to sew it up and fix it on properly, but I don't seem to have footage of that either. Aha! That's what I'm looking for. What I want to try and make is a little float that goes right at the top of the mast. So if I capsize, then the top of the mast doesn't sink and the boat turn upside down. I think it's called a masthead float or masthead buoyancy. You can buy one online, like a dedicated thing, but they're like 60 quid, so I really don't want to do that. So I've got a, I think this had windscreen wash in it, and then I'm just going to attach this to the top of the mast. Because it's just really cheap, this lid doesn't actually hold air. When I squeeze it, air comes out of the lid even when it's tight on. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm never going to need to open it, I'm just going to silicone the lid on, and then should be fine. I'm going to leave this to dry, and then it should be better. It should be fine. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, because there's going to be another video coming out very shortly about going sailing in Wales. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.